Darts isn't just a sport that's played at the Alexandra Palace once a year. You'll actually find it all over the UK at your local pubs and social clubs. This week we visited Bitton Park Social Club in Southampton. This is where the local Junior Darts Academy takes place and the Southampton Darts Series is hosted.
This is the Southampton Darts Series. This is one of 3 seasons we play every year. It's a series of 10 weekly knockouts where 40 to 50 players come along on an individual basis and play knockout darts. They play 3 competitions a night. They get points for their progression, which accumulate over the course of the season. And on the finals night, which is week 11, they play off for the big money.
Based in Southampton, Bridge the Gap is a charity with the aim of bringing 18 to 35-year-old men together from all backgrounds through their love of football and faith. Since its formation by Tristan Lurie in 2019, the group has partnered with 19 different churches and has 17 different locations across England and Wales. In Southampton, every Monday between 7:45 and 9, the organisation runs 4 six-a-side pitches that require just £4 entry fee. A different style of football has clearly caught on, as in early September the event had 30 weekly participants, whereas by January 80 players were turning up.
So I had a vision on a plane to South Africa about how creating these football communities across the country, supporting young men across the country, working with churches and building volunteer teams across the UK to create open access footballing communities. The reality, there isn't many spaces that people can just come to and play football unless you've got a group of 15, 20 friends to hire a pitch. Then obviously that's great, but not everyone has that. So a space that is like open access, come and play as you are. If you're away for a week, that's fine. There's no commitment. I think that's probably why, and people keep bringing all their friends. That's probably why it's grown so much.
We visited Frome Leisure Centre on a Thursday night to see Somerset's weekly walking football match. As the name suggests, walking football is played with some rather different rules to traditional football, with no running, headers and only minimal contact is allowed. Angelo Ruiz organises and referees the weekly session, as well as plenty more across the West Country.
I've been doing walking football since 2015. Primarily we started just to get people over 50 just to get moving. It's great for mental health. We have a lot of people that do recovering from injury, cancer, surgery, knee operations, but it's grown so quickly now. We've got some teams in the leagues, played abroad as well, so it's grown quite quickly. I do 2 sessions, Frome here, Frome ladies, and I do Midsummer Norton as well.
What's harder, a 9-darter?
A 147?
Or a hole-in-one?
To complete a 9-darter, you have to achieve a 5:01 finish in just 9 darts. This feat is incredibly difficult to achieve, as only 474 perfect legs of darts have been completed in the PDC since 1996.
You see them quite frequently. I mean, if you're playing pub league, I mean, it's shrunk now. There used to be a huge number of pubs in the leagues in those days, and it's not as popular as it used to be, unfortunately. In the higher echelons of darts, when you get to guys who are down the local, like Hampshire darts and things like that, you will see 9-darters quite frequently.
The second element of the Unicorn Challenge is a maximum 147 break without leaving the snooker table. This means a player has to pot 15 reds and 15 blacks in a row, followed by the remaining colours. In total, 199 maximum breaks have been completed in professional snooker.
To be fair, we have got some people that come in here that are too good to be true. I feel like I don't know how they do it, but it's impressive work.
Despite working at a snooker hall, Ben Hoey doesn't think the 147 is the hardest element.
I'm going to say a hole-in-one in golf, because I've only seen one of them in my life, and I play a lot of golf, and that was just like next to impossible to do.
The final component is the hole-in-one, which occurs when the ball goes straight in the cup from the tee. On average, there are 1.23 holes-in-one per PGA Tour event, with the odds of completing one being 670 million to 1.
I think a hole-in-one is easier because I see people coming in and it looks really easy, whereas when you go out into a pub and see people playing snooker or darts, it just looks a bit harder.
When I attempted a hole-in-one, my tee shots only travelled 130 yards, ending up nowhere near the hole.
I didn't fare much better, as my effort ended after potting just 1 red ball.
And just to reinforce just how impossible it is to reach the pinnacle of these sports, my 9-darter attempt ended on the first dart.
The warm-ups are well underway and the stands are filling at the moment. We've got our team news here. It's 2 changes to Southend as Dimitru actually comes out of the side, and so does Cocker, replaced by Woodman and Morton. For Dorking, it's a whole host of changes. They've got about 6 changes, where Rutherford, who's only come back from an ACL and open heart surgery, he's starting today. And Bowman, who's been out since January, is also starting. So positive news for Dorking, and it should be a good game. It's only the 5th ever encounter between the two sides, so we're hoping for a good game.
Goal at Southend. Harrison, can you tell us about it?
It's 1-0 to Southend, and it's an incredible strike. It's a free kick, and Scott Morris takes it. He bends it over the wall and right into the top corner. Nothing to keep to do about that one. So Southend 1, Dorking 0. Half-time, Southend 1, Dorking 0. I'd say a deserved lead for the hosts. A bit of quality. There's not been too many chances in the game for either team, but a bit of quality from Scott Morris sees the host lead at the break. So 1-0 Southend at half-time. It's full time here, Southend 2, Dorking 0. And to be fair to Dorking, since the second goal, they started playing a little bit. They did hit the post from across, but wasn't to be with that one. But for the majority, they have played like a bunch of amateurs. And Southend picked up a deserved 3 points, which moves them closer to the playoffs. So full time here, Southend 2, Dorking 0.